So, yep, that's my intro. Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be going over the new quality of life update they did to the game. Optimization on the general list. So there's two main things that were done amongst the things that were done for this optimization. The first is dealing with general tags, and the other one is dealing with the tabs and the pages. So when they come to tags, what they're referring to is these little small icons you see on the rolling. There's a blue one and then there's a red one. You could click on those and they give you small descriptions. When you click on the general, you could see it. You could get to it a little bit easier with near the needs of the general. And as you see it, it describes rolling and the type of general he is. There only can be two of those tags. They come in a few colors: blue, red, purple, as you can see here, yellow, and green. You see green is going to be dealing mostly, it's going to be the gathering and the extra item drops and things of that nature from the general. Yellow is going to be the mayors. Red is going to be mounted generals or the type of general attack that they do. And blue is going to be if they're attack general, things of that nature. They haven't distinguished between a general being a mounted general or a ranged general with the colors. They haven't really distinguished, or a siege general, or a ground general. Whatever type of attacking they do, that icon is normally going to be red. And if they're an attack general, you're going to see the blue one. Hopefully they deal with more tags in the future. So we'll get to the ugly part of the tags first. The ugly part of the tags is the fact that when you go to recruit and then you go to portraits within your tavern, you can't see those tags. You can't see those tags on the general. In order to see those tags on the general, you have to have the general and you have to have them opened. And that's the only way you could be able to see those tags. The bad part about the tags is they're not entirely accurate. They're not entirely accurate. I'll give you an example. We could go to Alfred. Alfred, he's listed as an expert at leading siege machine. Now, we all know Alfred as being one of the top 5 ranged generals, and we talk about ranged troop, not range within distance. He's one of the better of the ranged generals that uses siege, but he isn't a siege general. We know we have way better generals utilized for siege, but inside of his skill that he comes with, he does give a boost to siege. Siege gets 20%, and when you do his specialty, his second specialty is siege, which will give 10%. So he gives a 30% extra boost to siege. This is why you see people, when they utilize Alfred in attack, they add more siege to their attack. And we'll be getting more into me using favorite and idol, because there's some things you need to understand with that's going to help you later on down the line, to avoid some confusions that's going to occur when you utilize those tags. I just wanted to go real quick, get to Simeon. You see that they directly say about him, expert at leading ranged troops and siege machines. You see how they utilize that? Even though we also know Simeon is, of course, one of the top leading range attackers. And there really isn't a large degree of difference between the top range attackers as far as the amount of damage. There is some difference, and one of the things you're gonna come to understand is that those differences play a part in how much siege you utilize on your attack. So that's dealing with the tags. When it comes to the tabs, as we see, there's 5. There's all, which is where you can really sift through all of your generals like how you used to before the itemization. And then there's military. Military is going to be all the attack generals that you can use. Then there's development. Development is going to be for any general that has some type of benefit to development, whether it's going to be gathering food, This is why you'll see Queen Jindiak, or it's going to give you a bonus drop on when you attack bosses and monsters, like you see with Babers. Or you see it has Sajar al-Dara, and you would think, well, I utilize that for my war. Yeah, but one of the things that she does is she increases the resource production speed. So this is getting more resources for yourself. She also protects some of the resources from being taken. So because of that, they list her as a development general. So you'll see things like that. Alpha fled, goes monster drops. And then there's duty. Duty, of course, is any general you could put in a duty. Now, if you put an officer in a duty spot, he will not show up under duty officer. Only officers that's designated as a duty officer will show up here. This also applies to if you put a general inside of your subordinate city. Just because he's inside of your subordinate city doesn't mean he's going to show up under the subordinate city tag. And this is a very important thing to understand, because you will notice that Andrew Jackson is a debuff general. He's a debuff general, yet they say that he's an expert at being a mayor, which is what most people use debuff generals as. This is of course Evony noticing that people are using this general in this fashion and putting him as a mayor. So, we do have some, such as Lincoln, who in their description will be mayors automatically. So we will see them there, like, boost the gold production speed by 75% in subordinate city when general is the mayor. So, but they have recognized that some generals are better at being a subordinate general because of the type of bonus. So I want you guys to not be fooled by the tags, as they can be a little off sometimes. But if the tags is there, then that means that general can be utilized in that fashion. But you're still going to have to use skills and strategies to be able to maximize the benefit of those generals. So the last thing I want to go over is dealing with the favorites and the idol. Two things you got to realize. One, when you click on favorites, only the generals that you have the heart next to. I'll show you real quick. When you go to a general, you can click on this heart here. Only the generals that you have the heart next to will appear. So you see how when I picked all, I only can see these generals because I have the heart. If I take the heart off, he disappears immediately. And that applies if you go to any of the other areas. I don't have a heart next to any development general, so he won't show up here. Duty or subordinate city, they won't show up there. And you have to click back on the heart to get to see the generals again. The idle tab, what they mean by idols is generals who you have who is not in use, meaning they're not on a march, or they're not inside of a subordinate city or inside of a duty spot or on your walls. If they're not in use, those are the generals that will show up here. So you have to remember to take off the idle spots to see the remainder of your generals. That's a very important factor. So overall, I say I love the direction of this new optimization. I love the fact that Evony is trying to give us quality of life improvement for the game, as they increase the amount of generals you can have and increase the amount of generals that are in the game. Optimizations like this becomes very important as far as decreasing the amount of time that you spend in doing one task. Hopefully Evony continue on in this direction. We see a whole lot of what Evony is doing as far as improving the game for us. Quality of life issues is something that needs to be a focal point. There are a lot of areas in which they can improve, and I'm glad that they're taking a step in that direction. Lastly, I know everybody's like, where you've been? Well, I didn't just abandon my city. I just kept my shield up. I haven't progressed. I'll tell everyone briefly, real life comes before gaming. If you have a wife, you have children, if you have a job, if you have school, if you have other things that you need to take care of, you need to go ahead and take care of those things over the gaming. Also, you need to understand that sometimes you're going to need a break. You're going to need a break. Don't be afraid to take those breaks. Don't be afraid. Whether you leave your shields on for 3 days and every 3 days refresh the shield and be gone for months or even a year or whatever you need to go to get yourself back interested in the game, take that break. Or you let your city completely go and it's destroyed and you come back and you rebuild. Take that break. You don't need to go to a new server. Just take a break from the server you are on. You know what I mean? So, you know, those things are important for your sanity, for a lot of things that going on in your life. You need to understand that taking a break is something that you need to do. So when that time comes, don't be afraid to do it. And remember, reality over gaming. Have a good day.